Welcome to Trandy Wisdom, where every story is a meaningful truth. Why Vesak is more than just a celebration, more than a ritual, more than a remembrance. Vesak is a living path. It echoes through each mindful breath, each compassionate act, each quiet step we take on the earth. In this journey, we explore the sacred moments that continue to unfold, not in the past, but in the way we choose to live, right here and now. 1. Vesak. Returning to ourselves in mindfulness. The morning of Vesak begins not with celebration, but with a pause. Before the incense is lit, before the temple bell sounds its ancient song, there is already a sacred space inside each of us. It is the space where the Buddha still lives. It is the space of our own breath. To truly understand Vesak, we must return, not to the history books, not to distant rituals, but to ourselves. We must come back home to the present moment, where the teachings of the Buddha are always alive. Vesak is often called the celebration of the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing into nirvana. But to say celebration is not quite enough. Vesak is not only about what happened in the past, it is about what continues to unfold in this very moment. Each of these three sacred events is not a chapter that has closed. They are openings, doorways to awakening, and the key to those doors is mindfulness. When we breathe in and are aware that we are breathing in, we have already begun to touch the heart of Vesak. When we breathe out and smile gently with our whole being, we are participating in the same peace that surrounded the Buddha under the Bodhi tree. We don't need to be in a temple or a monastery. The path is beneath our feet. The bell of mindfulness rings not just in the high towers, but in our kitchen, in our workplace, in the quiet of the early morning before the world has fully awakened. Sometimes people ask, what should I do on Vesak? The answer is simple, and yet deep. Breathe, walk, sit, be fully present. Water your seeds of compassion. Touch the earth with your awareness. Vesak is not about doing more. It is about doing less, with more presence. It is about seeing that every small action, washing a cup, offering tea to a friend, embracing a child, is an act of reverence when done with a quiet heart. The Buddha was born on a full moon night, under the open sky. That moment is retold in many texts, with symbols and miracles. But the miracle that matters most is not that flowers bloomed under his feet, or that he took 7 steps after birth. The miracle is that he grew to become a human being who showed us how to suffer less, how to live with understanding, how to wake up from the dreams that keep us chasing after illusions. On Vesak, we are invited to remember that we, too, can be born again, not physically, but spiritually. With every mindful breath, we are invited to stop running, to stop consuming distractions, and to come back to our true home, where healing begins. Mindfulness is the living presence of the Buddha in the world today. When we touch the present moment deeply, we are no longer caught in the regrets of the past or the worries of the future. We become solid and free. Vesak is not only about remembering the Buddha, it is about recognizing the Buddha within us and in each other. We do not need to be perfect. We only need to be present. The Buddha is not far away. He's in our capacity to listen deeply. He is in the way we choose to speak gently. Even when we are hurt, he is in the way we bow before another person's suffering and say with our eyes, I am here for you. There is a quiet joy that comes from being fully present. It is not the loud joy of excitement or achievement. It is the soft joy of being enough, of knowing that this moment is whole and complete. On Vesak, we can give ourselves permission to let go of the need to become something. We are already enough. The flowers do not strive to be beautiful. They simply bloom. We, too, can bloom with stillness. In the Plum Village tradition, walking meditation is a beautiful way to celebrate Vesak. Each step is a poem. Each foot touching the earth is a prayer. As we walk slowly and in silence, we breathe in with love and breathe out with peace. We walk not to arrive, but to arrive with every step. Imagine millions of people around the world doing this together. On the same day, each one carrying the light of mindfulness. That is Vesak. Another beautiful practice for Vesak is to eat a meal in silence. Before we eat, we can look at our food and say silently, "In this food, I see the sun, the rain, the hard work of farmers, the love of the earth." When we chew slowly, we are not just feeding our body, we are also nourishing our consciousness. We are practicing gratitude. The Buddha is present in that gratitude. In a world that moves so fast, Vesak invites us to slow down. In a world full of noise, Vesak calls us into silence, not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence. When we stop to look deeply, we see that Vesak is not a single day on the calendar. It is a way of being. It is a rhythm, a breath, a return to what is most essential, our capacity to love, to understand, and to be awake. Some may feel unworthy of practicing like the Buddha, but the Buddha never asked us to be like him in perfection. He asked us to be like him in effort, in sincerity, in presence. Each time we recognize our anger and do not act on it, we are already practicing like the Buddha. Each time we feel suffering and hold it gently instead of blaming someone else, we are walking the path of awakening. To return to ourselves is not selfish. It is the most generous act we can offer to the world. A person who is at peace within can bring peace to others. A person who can sit with their suffering can help others to do the same. On Vesak, we return not only for ourselves, but for our ancestors, our children, our society. We become a continuation of the Buddha's gentle steps through time. Let us light a candle, not just on the altar, but in our hearts. Let us offer flowers, not only in vases, but in our way of speaking, in our way of listening. Let us chant, not only with our lips, but with the silence between our thoughts. The real celebration of Vesak happens when we are truly alive. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile, dwelling in the present moment. I know this is a wonderful moment. This is the Gatha we can carry in our hearts during Vesak. It is not a dogma. It is not a slogan. It is a way to return, again and again, to our true home. Dear friends, on this sacred day, do not search for the Buddha in statues or distant lands. Look into your breath. Look into your sorrow. Look into your joy. The Buddha is there. The light of Vesak has never faded. It is waiting patiently in you, as you are, too. The three sacred moments, the ever-opening path of awakening. When we speak of the Buddha, we do not speak of a man far removed from us by thousands of years. We speak of a human being who walked with 2 feet on the earth, who breathed the same air, who looked up at the same moon. And when we speak of Vesak, we are not simply remembering a distant story. We are opening ourselves to 3 sacred moments: birth, awakening, and passing, that are not bound by time. These moments do not belong only to the Buddha. They are also ours. They are the doorway to our own transformation. The first sacred moment is the birth of the Buddha in the gardens of Lumbini, beneath blooming trees and a radiant sky. Queen Maya gave birth to Siddhartha Gautama. Legends say he took 7 steps and declared his unique destiny. But for us, what matters is not the miracle of his steps, but the miracle of birth itself. To be born as a human being, with a body capable of mindfulness, a mind capable of awakening, and a heart capable of love, that is already a rare and precious gift. Each day that we open our eyes to life, we are born again. Each time we touch the present moment, with clarity and gentleness, we renew our life. The Buddha's birth invites us to return to the miracle of our own being. We are not separate from the earth, from the sky, from one another. Our first breath was not taken alone. The whole cosmos breathed with us. To honor the birth of the Buddha is to honor this fragile and magnificent life. It is to take care of the body with kindness. It is to feed it not only with food, but with peace. It is to protect the mind from violence and to nourish the heart with compassion. Every time we stop and say, "This moment is enough," we are allowing a new birth to happen within. It is a birth of presence, of gratitude, of understanding. We do not need to be in a temple to honor this moment. The birth of the Buddha happens in the garden of our breath. Every time we return home to ourselves, the second sacred moment is the Buddha's enlightenment. Beneath the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, after years of searching, of ascetic practices and profound questions, Siddhartha sat in stillness. He vowed not to rise until he had touched the truth. All night long, the armies of Mara came, temptation, fear, doubt, and distraction. But the young seeker remained unmoved. At dawn, he touched the earth and witnessed the morning star. In that instant, he saw deeply into the nature of all things. He saw the interdependence of all life. He saw that suffering arises from ignorance, from craving, from wrong perception, and that freedom is possible. But this moment was not only his. The Buddha's awakening was the awakening of all beings. It was the realization that the path is within. He did not become a god. He became fully human. And that is the most beautiful teaching. Enlightenment is not reserved for the few. It is not a mountain peak far away. It is available in each step, in each breath, in the depth of our looking. When we begin to see ourselves and others clearly, when we understand the roots of our anger or the pain behind someone's harsh words, we are already awakening. We may not sit under a Bodhi tree, but we can sit in the quiet of the morning, with our tea in our hands, and breathe. We can look at the suffering in our heart and say, "I see you, I will not turn away." That is touching the earth. That is the same courage, the same insight. And when we sit with others, in community, and share our joys and our fears, we water the seeds of awakening together. In our modern world, Mara does not appear as a demon. He appears as distraction, as busyness, as endless scrolling and craving for approval. But the practice is the same. We smile at Mara. We bow to him. We recognize his presence, and we do not follow him. The Buddha teaches us that we do not have to destroy our afflictions. We only need to see them clearly. With mindfulness, our fears become less frightening. Our anger becomes less sharp. We begin to understand, and in understanding, compassion is born. The third sacred moment is the Buddha's passing into parinirvana. At the age of 80, in a forest grove between two trees, he lay down on his right side and entered deep peace. His disciples wept, but he told them not to grieve. All conditioned things are impermanent. He said, "Strive on with diligence." His body would pass, but his teaching would remain. His love would remain. His presence would remain in the Sangha, in the mindful community, in each practitioner who lives with understanding. We often think of death as an ending, but the Buddha showed us that it is a continuation. A cloud does not die. It becomes rain, or snow, or mist. The flame of a candle, when extinguished, becomes heat, becomes light, becomes memory. When someone we love passes, their voice still echoes in our hearts. Their kindness still flows through our actions. The Buddha did not disappear. He simply changed form. He's in the way we take care of one another. He's in the silence of meditation. He's in the gentle strength of compassion. To honor the Buddha's passing is to accept the impermanence of all things. It is to stop clinging. It is to love without needing to hold. It is to let go and to trust that letting go does not mean losing. When we hold our loved ones with mindfulness, while they are alive, and even after they are gone, we keep them alive in the most beautiful way. When we live deeply, when we walk with peace, we carry them with us. The Buddha's death is not an occasion for sorrow. It is a reminder that we, too, can enter nirvana, not as a place after death, but as a state of freedom in this very life. Nirvana is the absence of suffering. It is the extinguishing of the flames of ignorance, anger, and craving. When we are no longer consumed by these fires, we can rest. We can be at peace. The Buddha offered us not just a teaching, but a path. He walked it first to show us that it can be done, and we walk it now, step by step, with his smile in our heart. The three sacred moments, birth, enlightenment, and passing, are not three separate events. They are the three dimensions of our own journey. Each day, we are born again. Each day, we can touch the truth. Each day, we can let go and rest in freedom. This is not theory. It is practice. It is a living path. The Buddha is not someone we worship from afar. He is someone we embody through our presence, our actions, and our way of being. On Vesak, we do not need grand ceremonies. We only need to stop and return. We can light a candle. We can sit in silence. We can walk with awareness. We can speak with kindness. These are the true celebrations. These are the sacred offerings. We do not need to become a Buddha in one day. We only need to take one step in the direction of understanding. One breath of peace is already enough. The moon of Vesak shines for all beings. Its light does not discriminate. It touches the mountains and the rivers, the cities and the villages, the young and the old, the joyful and the grieving. It invites us all to awaken. And when we answer that invitation, with sincerity and with love, we discover that the three sacred moments are not behind us. They are within us, always opening, always here. 3. Living Vesak in daily life. Mindful living as the deepest offering. Vesak does not truly begin with the lighting of incense or the sounding of temple bells. It begins when we return to the present moment and truly arrive. It begins when we bring the teachings of the Buddha out of memory and into movement, into the way we walk to the kitchen, speak to a stranger, or embrace a loved one after a long silence. Vesak is not a celebration locked to a calendar. It is a path of daily remembrance. It is a soft and quiet invitation to live in a way that honors birth, awakening, and liberation, not only for the Buddha, but for ourselves and for those around us. We often think of spiritual celebration as something grand: processions, lanterns, chanting, and flowers. These are beautiful and meaningful, but they are not the only offerings we can make. The deepest offering we can give the Buddha is our own transformation. It is a peaceful breath taken after an argument. It is a kind word spoken in the midst of stress. It is choosing to listen rather than to react. These are not visible in ceremonies, but they shine quietly within the world, just as a lotus opens unseen in the early morning light. To live Vesak is to live with mindfulness. When we eat a meal, we pause before the first bite. We look at the food and recognize the sun, the rain, the earth, and the many hands that brought it to us. We take each bite with reverence. We chew slowly, not only to taste, but to touch life with presence. We do not eat our worries. We do not consume our future plans. We simply eat. This is a way of honoring the Buddha, not in words, but in awareness. When we walk, we do not need to arrive anywhere. We do not walk to achieve. We walk to enjoy each step. Our feet kiss the earth with gratitude. Each step is a poem. Each step is a bell of mindfulness. In Plum Village, we often say, walk as if your feet are kissing the earth. This is not a metaphor. It is a real practice. We walk not to escape, but to come home. Even a few mindful steps between rooms, or from the car to the door, can reconnect us to the stream of presence in our conversations. Vesak becomes alive when we practice loving speech and deep listening. The Buddha taught that right speech is essential. Words can build a bridge or burn one down. When we speak with compassion, when we say, I understand, I'm here for you, we bring relief. When we refrain from gossip or blame, we create space for healing. This is Vesak in action. It is not always easy, but it is always possible. When we return to our breath and speak from a place of awareness, to live Vesak also means to embrace our suffering. Many of us carry wounds that are not visible. The Buddha never taught us to run from suffering. He taught us to recognize it, to embrace it gently, like a mother holding a crying child. When anger arises, we do not need to push it away. We can say, hello, my little suffering, I'm here for you. We can hold it with our breathing. We can take it for a walk. We can water the seeds of understanding and compassion. This is the heart of Buddhist practice, and this is the heart of Vesak, not to avoid the world, but to be with it in peace. Forgiveness is another flower we can offer on this sacred day. Perhaps there is someone in your life you have not spoken to in a long time. Perhaps there is an old pain you continue to carry. Vesak is a time to let go, not because forgetting is easy, but because holding on is heavier. We can write a letter, or simply breathe and send compassion to the one who hurt us. Forgiveness does not mean we condone harmful actions. It means we release the burden of anger and give ourselves space to heal. The Buddha taught that hatred cannot be ended by hatred. Only love can do that. This is not idealism. It is the foundation of freedom. In the silence of meditation, we water the roots of clarity and peace, whether it is 5 minutes or 50. Sitting quietly and watching the breath is a revolutionary act in a world of noise and speed. We are not wasting time. We are stopping the wheel of samsara, the cycle of ignorance and reactivity, and returning to stillness. That stillness is not passive. It is the ground from which all true action springs. When we act from stillness, our steps are steady, and our decisions are rooted in wisdom. Vesak, in daily life, is also expressed in the way we care for others. When we look at a child with mindfulness, we transmit our love without words. When we offer a warm meal to someone who is struggling, or simply sit beside them in silence, we are living the Dharma. The Buddha is not only found in statues or sutras, he is in the act of showing up fully for another human being. Compassion is not theory. It is presence. It is patience. It is the willingness to suffer with others without trying to fix them or change them. Let us also remember to smile. A smile born of mindfulness is a very powerful thing. It does not deny pain. It says, I see clearly, and still, I choose peace. A true smile is a gift to ourselves and to the world. The Buddha smiled, not because he was naive, but because he saw the truth of interbeing and the beauty of life, even in the midst of impermanence. When we smile with awareness, we offer a lotus to the world. We can celebrate Vesak by living simply. The Buddha's teachings point us toward a life that is free from excess, from greed, from endless consumption. Simplicity is spacious. It gives us room to breathe. When we let go of what we do not need, be it possessions or mental clutter, we make room for joy. We discover that we do not need more to be happy. We need less. but with more mindfulness. A cup of tea, a quiet morning, a kind conversation, these are enough. Vesak is a call to awaken. Not once, but again and again. Each morning when we rise, we can choose to begin anew. Each time we lose our temper, we can stop, breathe, and start again. Each time we forget, we can remember. This is the miracle of mindfulness. It allows us to renew our life, not in theory, but in action. The Buddha's awakening is not behind us. It is here, waiting in every moment we choose to live with awareness. Dear friend, do not worry if you cannot join a ceremony, or if your life feels too busy. You can celebrate Vesak where you are. You can breathe with the flower on your balcony. You can listen to the rain as a Dharma talk. You can bow to your own breath as a sacred gift. The Buddha is not asking for incense or offerings. He is asking for your presence. He is asking for your freedom. Let us walk gently today. Let us speak with kindness. Let us live this day not as a special day apart, but as a continuation of the path. The true altar is in our heart. The true offering is our way of being. May Vesak not end tonight. May it continue in how we touch each other's lives, with mindfulness, with compassion, and with deep peace. Breathing in, I touch the sacred in this moment. Breathing out, I offer it with love. Breathing in, I remember the Buddha is alive. Breathing out, I smile. This is Vesak, not far, not past, not future. It is here, now, and always unfolding. In the stillness of a single breath, the Buddha is present. Vesak is not something we observe. It is something we live. Each act of kindness, each step taken in awareness, is a continuation of his path. As the full moon lights the night sky, may it also illuminate the sacred within your daily life, because in truth, Vesak is not a moment to remember, but a moment to return to yourself, to compassion, to the timeless presence of awakening.